All right, joining us in the studio this morning, well, not in the studio, over the phone,
because
of the snow. The guy behind Paul Jr. Designs, and of course, star of the new season of American Chopper, Paul Jr. is with us. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. How's it going, guys?
We're doing good. You're safe wherever you are with all that snow that's falling down.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't. Usually this weather doesn't bother me, but it seems a little hairy out there, and I figured, what the heck? Why drive all that way if I could call in?
Yeah, it's a radio. We can still hear you. It's fine. It's fine. Well,
exactly.
First of all, congratulations on the new season of American Chopper. It's so cool that you guys are back on the air.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're pumped, man. I think it was good. We had our first episode last night, and I'm excited. I feel like the show is looking really good. It's so crazy because these episodes air as they always have, and I had no idea really what to expect. You kind of know what you shoot and what you get, but you don't know how it gets put together and how it ends up airing. And I think they did a great job on the editing side and telling the true story of what's going on.
Is it what you expected the show to be?
Well, they played the cold opener a couple days ago on social media, the first 5 minutes, so it gave me a sense of the pace. So that kind of helped me a little bit. But, yeah, I think so. I think overall it feels like American Chopper's back. That's what I like about it. I think that, I do what I do and my father does what he does. We keep that pretty separate. But the crossover and the earnest intention to try and make things work between me and him, I think that came across. I think it's translating on both sides. And I think people want to see that, and I want to see that. So I feel like from that perspective, yeah, I think it came together really great.
Well, the moment I think that everybody's been waiting for since you guys went off the air last time was that moment where you kind of showed up at the shop for the first time and you saw Senior and you guys started working on the bike together. What was going through your mind when you went over there? Were you expecting it to be as cordial as it was, or were you prepared for it to?
Oh, yeah, I was. Yeah, we're not like I said, even I think I said on the show, not a lot of relationship there, but yeah, I wasn't expecting any kind of combativeness, but you get into that situation, and for me, I'm ready for it, and I think he is too, and I think that's important, and maybe in the past we weren't. So the time is now to kind of try and figure our relationship out. So, it's so interesting. Once we start getting around each other, it's like we just get set right back into the way things were. It's effortless. When you really put aside all the crap, we get down to it, and we have a lot in common. There's been a lot of distance between us, but I think I want to overcome that. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Well, last night we learned that you guys are going to start this project together, restoring the Yankee bike that was so sadly destroyed.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I got to tell you, I was looking for a project, and I was trying to think. I had a couple in mind, and I knew I was going to try and present something to my father, because the only way we're going to get our relationship back on track is to be around each other. You can't do it through text messages, and you certainly can't do it if you're not near each other,
Right.
So I figured a project would be a great way. And, boy, as bad as that bike was and as sick as it made me to see, it really, for the timing and everything, it kind of fell out of heaven, because, to come together on a project that we were so invested in and that my grandmother was such a big part of, and, so New York and all the nuances of it, and to have someone do that to it, really disfigure it, it might sound cheesy, but I saw our relationship when I saw that bike, and I said, we really need to restore this thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to read too much into the show because I didn't want to go too deep on American Chopper, but man, what parallels there are between that bike and your relationship. You guys worked on it together, now it's kind of destroyed, and you guys are going to try to build it back up together.
So
it's perfect.
Symbolic.
Absolutely, it really is. You can't avoid it. You would think it's too good to be true, or it would be made up, but all of this is played out in real time, and when opportunities come up like that, you got to grab them and you got to run with them. And the one common thing that me and my father have after all this time and all our discord and separation is motorcycles. When we start talking about, and you got to remember, even when we start talking about the past, we haven't talked about all those good years for a decade. So when we start talking about it, only me and him shared those moments. other people are folded in there, but you got to remember it started with me and him. So at the end of the day, when we start reminiscing, he remembers things I don't even remember. So I think all that kind of stuff gets us back on track to think maybe we like each other. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's an opportunity here. Nobody's getting any younger. I got my son now. So, I'm really happy with this first episode. I think it was a reintroduction episode. I'm always very critical. I would have liked to see more of the fabrication of the bike I was building for the Buffalo Chip. But, we're trying to tell the story, and it could be a complicated one.
And I was going to ask you just mentioned that you have a son now, too. Do you think having a son helps you to realize how important the relationship between a father and son is, and that made you even more anxious to repair your relationship with your dad?
Oh, yeah, 100% without a doubt. I think there's a combination of just maturing and then this idea that I'm a father now, and I think your perspective changes. And then it's not just that. It's the idea that I want my son to have a relationship with his grandfather. And I had a great relationship with my grandfather, and it had a strong impact on me. And so I just think it's an important thing, and I think my father needs that as well.
Now, listen, we are definitely invested in the relationship between you and your dad, so don't take this the wrong way, but you guys are going to be building lots of bikes, though, now, right, with the show? We're going to see more bikes?
Yeah, lots of bikes. So he's going to be building his clients' bikes, and I'll be building my clients' bikes. And through the beginning process here, anyways, we're going to be coming together for the start of it on the Yankees project, building this bike together. He's doing some work down. I can't get into it too much, but we're going to collaborate on restoring this Yankees bike, and that's going to play out over a series of episodes, and then the culmination of it will end in, a final assembly. It'll be like a longer project that we'll be doing together, and meanwhile, we'll both be doing bikes for clients, for our own clients.
Congratulations to you. Glad that you guys are back on the air, and thanks for checking in with us this morning. I'm glad you liked the way the show came out.
Yeah, I thought, what'd you think? How'd you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was great. My favorite part was the beginning where Mikey was kind of reading the transcript of your fight.
God.
It kind of like made that painful situation a little more lighthearted and kind of feel like it was back in the past.
It was funny.
What a needed thing, because they did play that a lot in the last run of episodes, from the last season that we did 5 years ago. And I just love the way they did that because it happened. We're nuts. We had the blowout. We had the falling out. But I love the way they did it, and I love Michael narrating it, and it puts Michael back in a really good position.
I agree with you. Mikey's the best. And I think we're losing your connection here, so we'll say goodbye. But again, it's back, and I'm sure you can get it on demand on Discovery. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm sure they're going to be playing it a bunch on Discovery, too. American Chopper, the new season. Paul Jr., thanks so much, man. I appreciate you calling us this morning.
You guys are the best.
All right. I'm just going to end there where he said you guys are the best, and we got cut out.
That's a good ending.